Well, thanks, Jason. I'll cover some of the things again that you have to tell a pilot 3 times before they really get it, so.
What?
Yeah. So good morning, and I'll begin with Saturday morning's terrible news. My heart goes out to all of our Spirit brothers and sisters who did everything in their power to save their airline. For 3 decades, they've been integral to our union and have been outstanding unionists demonstrating solidarity and advocacy. Having been on the brink of liquidation in the early 2000s at United, most people don't know we were saved by a weekend from filing for liquidation. I've felt the uncertainty and fear that our Spirit pilots are feeling today. I didn't have to suffer that outcome that our Spirit pilots have suffered, and I have great empathy for them. They're not alone, and I'm hopeful that they will soon be back as reactivated members with good flying careers still ahead of them. On to the task for today. Thank you all for being here as we come together for this executive board. And thank you for your continued leadership and commitment to our union. As I've said before, and I can't say it enough, the work we do matters. It shows every day in the strength of ALPA and in the progress that we continue to make on behalf of our more than 78,000 members across 42 U.S. and Canadian pilot groups. Since our last meeting in October, ALPA has remained actively engaged across all 4 pillars of the Air Safety Organization: safety, security, pilot assistance, and jump seat. I'll also touch on training, outreach, and our ongoing advocacy efforts in the United States and Canada. Over the past several months, we've seen a significant number of events that underscore both the complexity of today's operating environment and the importance of the work we do every day to improve safety across the system. Before I turn to our broader safety issues, I want to begin by acknowledging the crew members of Jazz Flight 8646, Captain Antoine Forrest and First Officer Mackenzie Gunther, who lost their lives on March 22nd in the accident at LaGuardia while landing. I also want to recognize all of the passengers and crew members who were injured. This is a profound loss for our union. We extend our deepest condolences to the families, friends, and colleagues of those involved. ALPA responded immediately to this accident. In the hours, days, and weeks following the tragic event, ALPA's accident investigation experts and critical incident response program volunteers were fully engaged to support the pilot group and assist in the investigation. As always, our focus is to support our members and to ensure that we bring forward the technical expertise necessary to understand what happened and to prevent future accidents. Preventing future accidents is paramount to the families. To them and to us, it honors the legacy of Antoine and Mackenzie. Their families have expressed very heartfelt thanks to our ALPA family for the support we've provided to date. They could not be more grateful, and this is a testament to our people, both pilots and staff. The processes we have in place are long-standing and work very well. I'm proud to be part of a union that was founded on safety. We also have remained closely engaged in the investigation of PSA 5342, the January 2025 mid-air here in DCA. ALPA served as a party to that investigation and submitted its formal analysis and recommendations to the NTSB on October 10th. This was no easy task. The board has since concluded its investigation and issued findings and safety recommendations. That accident highlighted critical safety gaps related to operations in complex and congested airspace in the vicinity of airports. That includes the need to provide pilots with ADS-B-In, which expands pilots' situational awareness and provides earlier traffic alerting and interaction between different types of aircraft, significantly enhancing the reliance on visual separation procedures. We're also seeing increased attention on changes to airspace procedures, separation standards, and safety reviews for helicopter and fixed-wing operations in high-density environments. We also held a remembrance event to honor those affected by this accident on the 1-year anniversary. It's important that we continue to recognize the very real human impact of these events even as we focus on the technical lessons learned. And we continue to see events that reinforce concerns related to that accident. On March 24th, United Flight 589 was involved in a helicopter-related incident while operating into John Wayne. While the circumstances differ from PSA Flight 5342, this event highlights the ongoing challenges of integrating different types of operations within increasingly complex airspace environments. Together taken, these events underscore the importance of maintaining strong operational procedures, clear separation standards, and continued vigilance across the national airspace system. That's the power of ALPA, ensuring that our aviation system continues to improve. Schedule with safety, our motto for 95 years, rings as true today as it did when ALPA's earliest members founded our union back in 1931. These recent events reflect the wide range of operational risks our pilots continue to face and underscore the importance of maintaining a strong, proactive safety organization. Our subject matter experts have recently contributed to improving the system by serving as a party observer or technical advisor on 21 investigations, answering 472 accident serious incident hotline calls in 2025, and issuing multiple safety and security bulletins. Thanks for broadcasting these timely bulletins to your membership through your MEC communications. We continue to emphasize to our members the importance of calling the hotline as soon as possible following an incident or serious accident. As you can see, you can do that on the app. So sometimes we hear somebody didn't answer the call. That means they misdialed, because it has to be that it's a service. It answers. So if it's not answered or it goes to voicemail, they've misdialed. You can't misdial if you use the app and you hit the button. Early engagement ensures that we can provide immediate support and make critical resources available to our members. We encourage your MECs to please proliferate and share this information and communicate its importance. You can't call the hotline enough for safety issues. We're also continuing to monitor and address concerns related to land and hold short operations. Recent developments at a number of airports, including Minneapolis, Chicago O'Hare, and Las Vegas, have highlighted the increasing complexity and variability in how these operations are implemented. In response, ALPA has developed updated guidance for pilots, including an online LASSO resource in a recent article in ALPA's membership magazine to support operational awareness and decision-making. As always, our goal is to ensure that pilots have the information they need to make informed decisions based on safety. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize the importance of our safety, training, security, and jump seat councils in support of MEC-level efforts across the association. I want to welcome Captain Mike Kendrick as the new Safety Council Chair. Leadership across ALPA matters, including the ASO, Safety, Training, Security, and Jump Seat Councils. We look forward to Captain Kendrick's leadership in this important role and thank him for stepping forward to serve. Security remains a core focus of the Air Safety Organization. A4A announced that they were canceling the contract with Collins at the end of 2026, and as expected, TSA will transition from KCM to Crew Member Access Point, or CMAP. More details on this transition will emerge in the coming months. We continue to monitor a rapidly evolving global threat environment. I would like to recognize a leadership transition within the Aviation Security Group. First Officer Brian Patchen has assumed the role of Aviation Security Chair. Brian has already done an outstanding job in his new role. You will hear from him tomorrow. We continue to see increased geopolitical activity that has direct implications for aviation operations. Developments earlier this year related to Venezuela resulted in FAA-issued NOTAMs affecting operations in the Caribbean. We're also closely tracking developments in the Middle East, including risks associated with operations in and around Iran. These events highlight the increasingly dynamic nature of the global environment that we operate in and the importance of timely, coordinated information for our members. Brian is outstanding at disseminating this information to the affected Security Council members. The association also remains actively engaged in safety and security issues specific to the cargo industry. In February, ALPA hosted a 3-day cargo symposium in Orlando. The forum brings together pilots, industry representatives, and regulators to share strategies for strengthening safety and security issues facing the cargo sector. Pilot assistance remains a central element of ALPA's safety mission. It's interesting, if you compare the ASO, pilot assistance has come way up in terms of needing volunteers and the work that they do. The Professional Standards Chairs meeting was held recently at the Envoy MEC office. ALPA also hosted a Professional Standards Forum in Minneapolis in April. Professional standards remains one of the most effective tools we have to address issues early and maintain a strong safety culture. The Pilot Peer Support Program continues to see strong engagement across the association. In 2025, ALPA received 346 calls to the peer support line. This program provides confidential pilot-to-pilot support and plays an essential role in promoting mental health and overall well-being. Its continued growth reflects both its value and the increasing willingness of pilots to seek support when needed. The Critical Incident Response Program remains a key component of ALPA's support structure following accidents and serious incidents. I'd like to recognize a leadership transition within CHIRP. First Officer Marshall Motley has assumed the role of CHIRP Chair. We look forward to his leadership. ALPA continues to make CHIRP training available to pilot volunteers throughout the year, including a recent training session 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. I'd like to thank all the CHIRP volunteers who assisted with JAS 8646 for their amazing assistance. Their expertise and dedication were phenomenal. It couldn't have been more better. It couldn't have been done better. And it gave me great comfort knowing they were there assisting in every way possible. This effort was well led by Marshall Motley, who was on the ground in New York very quickly following that accident. ALPA also continues to promote the Are You in the Green campaign, which encourages pilots to assess their readiness before each flight. You'll see an increased tempo on promoting the campaign throughout the rest of May, which is Mental Health Awareness Month. This initiative helps pilots identify potential risks related to fatigue, stress, or other factors and connects them with resources when needed. ASO jump seat volunteers continue to play a critical role in supporting our members' ability to commute and operate efficiently across the system. The Make the Walk campaign remains an important part of that effort, especially this weekend. We continue to encourage our members to extend professional courtesy and ensure that fellow pilots are not left behind when jump seat access is available. The Jump Seat Flight Finder tool also continues to see strong usage across the association. As of this month, more than 12 million searches have been recorded using this tool, which has become one of the most widely used features in the ALPA app and continues to support safe and efficient operations for our members. Training remains the foundation of ALPA's safety culture and operational effectiveness. Recent training and events have included Foundational ALPA Service Training, or FAST, Leadership and Advanced Safety Training, LAST, Critical Incident Response Program Training, Pilot Peer Support Training, and Accident Investigation courses. These programs are led by Captain Stacy Jackson, who does a phenomenal job. Planning is well underway for ALPA's 70th Annual Air Safety Forum, which will be held in September the 14th through the 17th here in Washington, D.C. This year's forum will include a footprint change where the public forum and banquet will be held on Tuesday, September 15th. The airlines that have provided sponsorship to ASF are United at the Platinum $15,000 level, Alaska and WestJet at the $5,000 silver level, and Air Canada and Jazz at the $2,500 bronze level. So most pilot groups are not on that list, so you have work to do. In my role as ALPA PAC treasurer, I would like to provide an update on our ongoing advocacy effort related to the PAC. ALPA PAC remains very near and dear to me. It really matters, as Jason pointed out. It remains in a strong position and is on track to have a solid year. We're also on pace to match or exceed our total contributions from 2025 by the end of this year. We continue to see strong leadership from within our ranks, with some of our members committed to making donating the maximum contribution allowed by law to ALPA PAC this year. I'd like to recognize the members that have pledged to contribute the individual maximum amount in 2026 or brought their annual contribution up to the maximum level at the end of 25 that I didn't previously have a chance to publicly recognize. I know that some of you are here in the room. We have 24 of these max donors across the union right now, and I suspect that before the October BOD meeting, or at the October BOD meeting, there might be a few more. Those that contribute the max to the PAC in alphabetical order are Captain Jason Ambrosi, Captain Bradley Beechler, Captain Justin Berg, Captain Ryan Bresnow, Captain Brendan Cantwell, Captain Gareth Carter, First Officer Matthew Colin, Captain Gary Connell, Captain Andrew Coyle, Captain Cody Diamond, Captain Reed Donahue, Captain Lawrence Freer, Captain Doug Grant, Captain Ed Higgins, Captain Christopher Hughes, Captain Travis Ludwig, First Officer Andrew McKintry, Captain Drew Monarchsick, Captain Brian Noyes, Captain John Pinkerton, Captain Nathan Racine, Captain Chris Cedar, Captain Doug Willey, and Captain John Wood, and I do as well. I want to thank these members for their leadership and commitment. In addition, the Banking 1931 Donor Club remains strong, with more than 300 members contributing at that high level. Their continued support plays a critical role in strengthening our advocacy efforts. At the same time, our colleagues at the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, NATCA, continue to raise more money than we do. We need to do better to fully leverage the strength of this association and ensure that our voice is heard as clearly and effectively as it should be. I've heard many of the reasons why members choose not to contribute. Too many Democrats, too many Republicans, concerns based on individual candidates, or assumptions about where contributions are directed. ALPA PAC is pilot partisan. It's a tool that allows us to express our collective political will in support of the politics and policies and priorities established by this board, the Executive Council, and our association as a whole. Our contributions are not driven by party affiliation, but by aviation safety, security, and the interests of our members, and that approach works here in the U.S. Today, we're working with leaders on both sides of the aisle to advance key initiatives, including the Rotor Act. That kind of progress is only possible because we remain focused on issues and not politics. Pilot partisan works, and it continues to be one of ALPA's greatest strengths here in the U.S., and a lot of those policies proliferate over time into Canada. We're also operating in a dynamic political environment. This Congress has already seen a significant number of retirements and resignations even ahead of the next election cycle. So ALPA PAC is actively working to identify and support new champions who understand and prioritize aviation safety and security. The broader legislative and policy environment continues to have direct implications for our industry and our profession. The effects of the recent partial government shutdown have highlighted ongoing concerns related to staffing, operational continuity, and system resilience. ALPA continues to engage on key legislative initiatives, including the Rotor Act and the Alert Act, and we're preparing for the upcoming legislative summit where ALPA leaders will engage directly with policymakers to advocate for our priorities. We cannot do this work without the continued support of our members, both individually and across your pilot groups. Your engagement at the MEC and LEC levels remains essential to strengthening ALPA's voice on Capitol Hill and ensuring that we can continue to advocate effectively on behalf of our members. In closing, I want to thank our pilot volunteers, our staff, and ALPA leaders across all 4 ASO pillars, as well as our colleagues in government affairs and those engaged in outreach on behalf of the association. And a special thanks to our new Director of Communications, Doug Bai, whose experience working with pilots at the MEC level shows. I've watched him lead his staff in pulling rabbits out of hats with next to no notice to make us look like we had been planning for months. This especially applies to the PSA anniversary event and the repatriation flights of the Jazz pilots, Captain Antoine Forrest and First Officer Mackenzie Gunther. The strength of this union lies in the people, and we are fortunate to have outstanding individuals supporting our mission every day. Safety and security will always remain ALPA's highest priorities. Thanks to your leadership and commitment, ALPA not only is meeting these challenges, we're also driving positive change in aviation safety and security and helping to shape our future of our profession for generations to come. Thank you.